It's always an exciting time when a top new competitor arrives on the world bodybuilding scene. And this one is particularly popular because he hails from the site of the Schwarzenegger Classic, Columbus, Ohio. Let's meet Mike Francois. Bodybuilders are too often portrayed as too self-centered with no spiritual depth or respect for a higher power. Not so with Columbus, Ohio's Mike Francois. Michael didn't begin bodybuilding to put his body on display for the approval of bodybuilding fans and judges. His original vocational choice was to become a Roman Catholic priest.
I was studying to be a Roman Catholic priest. I went to college and started in 1983 is when I graduated from high school. So that fall, I entered a liberal arts school, Catholic school in Iowa, and they had a seminary program. And so I was pursuing the Roman Catholic priesthood, and when I graduated from college, my bishop sent me on to study more theology and in Columbus, Ohio.
When marriage to his wife Shannon changed his career path, he began to train more seriously with weights and soon discovered he had a propensity for building muscle, far more than the average bodybuilder.
I have a hard time seeing myself, and other people can see, well, you're getting bigger or something like that, but I had no idea I'd be bodybuilding. And so through college and things, I just continued to lift weights just because I enjoyed it. And then between my college and graduate school that year, that summer, I competed for the first time.
His competitive career took off in 1991 when he won the Chicago Muscle Mania and was then voted the grand champion by ESPN viewers. 2 years later, he gained professional status by winning the national championship and his first 2 professional events. Rather than jump directly into the Mr. Olympia frenzy, Mike took an honest appraisal and decided that this wouldn't be the most prudent decision physically or politically. He hadn't paid his dues. Rather, Mike Francois decided that he would take the time to make the improvements he felt his physique needed, then unveil them in his hometown of Columbus, Ohio, appropriately enough, at the Arnold Classic.
I decided to forego the Olympia after the Night of Champions in Chicago because I thought I could best prepare myself to be in the Arnold Classic and do well, as well as I wanted to do if I took that time to make those improvements. And it was, of course, always my dream to be in the Arnold Classic, and I didn't want to go into it halfway. I never go into anything halfway, and so I knew in order to best prepare myself that I would have to take that time, make the improvements, and then get into it.
And here he is on stage, Mike Francois.
Michael is 240 pounds heavy. He's 30 years old. He's 5'8" and 3/4 tall and looks fantastic. I mean, he has almost no weak points. He's known for his gigantic thighs, his great calves, a huge back, as you can see, the very small waist. Enormous deltoids. Look at the V shape. He really plays it up.
He's been competing for only 5 years, but he's really started to win lately, Arnold. As you know, won the Chicago Pro Invitational last year, first in the Night of Champions last year, and he was the national champion in 1993.
That's right. Now here you can see again, even in this pose, his legs look gigantic. And these are his strong points, really, legs and back, although I don't see any weak points.
Interesting background. He originally studied to be a priest, a Catholic priest, for 7 years. Now is married and began bodybuilding for recreation and has turned into a world-class competitor.
He has a lot of potential. You can see this in his body. Really enormous. Big arms, really big arms. Very defined in the abdominals. He's been training for 7 years, competing for 5 years. He's turned professional a year and a half ago. I think it's really fantastic to have the competition here in Columbus, Ohio, and to have him come from Columbus, Ohio. So I think he obviously will be the big favorite for the crowds and hopefully also for the judges.
Yeah, he's a big fan favorite here in his hometown. Mike Francois. And a Buckeye salute from the hometown crowd.
Here you can see his enormous upper body, the V shape, the small waist, wide shoulders, defined in the pectoral muscles and abdominals. It's really great.
The applause continues for Mike Francois as we now take a break at the 95 Schwarzenegger Classic.